So you already know my formal job title, Head of Research Data Services. That's a role that's evolved quite a lot over the 10 years or so I've been doing it. And yeah, I'll give you a broad overview of our journey towards actually setting up a university centrally employed team of Research Data Stewards. You've already heard from Anurad today. She's one of 18 of us now in this team. So we have a substantial team, still growing, slower than it was. And we're trying to build communities within our own institution. And I shall cover all of that kind of stuff. But I shall start by taking us back to the year 2016, which is notable in sort of data stewardship circles for a number of different things. Perhaps least notably, it's when I joined UCL. Perhaps most notably, it's when the Fair Data Principles were first published, which did a lot to galvanize the existing community, because of course it didn't invent the stuff that we do as research data stewards, but it did provide a banner to rally people around. And I'm also going to draw attention to the publication of the Realising the European Open Science Cloud by an EU high-level expert group. One of the reasons I'm drawing attention to this is because one of the authors was Professor Paul Arris, who's head of libraries at UCL. And it demonstrates the fact that institutionally we've had a lot of very senior people who've been really enthusiastic and really seen the importance of research data management, research data stewardship, early on, and have really helped drive it to the front of the agenda at UCL, which has been a huge benefit. It doesn't actually talk about data stewards. It talks about core data experts. It talks a lot about data stewardship, but the term that hadn't really been arrived at yet. But it says, core data experts are neither computer-savvy research scientists, nor are they hardcore data or computer scientists or software engineers. They should be technical data experts. The number of people with these skills needed is, we estimate, likely exceeding 500,000 within a decade. So we've got 1 year to go. Have we got that many yet? I mean, I don't know, because of course everyone uses different titles and everyone's involved in different things. And we have no real way of counting all of these people because we're still building these communities and inviting people to them in a way that actually gives us a sense of how many people there really are who are doing the kind of things that we do. Meanwhile, back in UCL in 2016, we were living a very easy life, really. It was uncomplicated, it was stress-free. The only thing we had to worry about was potentially losing petabytes of precious research data, but it was a very IT services kind of place. We were running a couple of services, implementing an institutional data repository. All was straightforward. But since then, we've undergone quite a transformation, and we've become an independent department. We've broken away from the main IT services. We've become advanced research computing. It's been a big restructuring, and it's enabled us to accelerate our ability to assist our researchers. So the department has been formed into 5 different professions, each of which has a career structure from grades 6 to 10. 10 is professorial, but we don't have many yet. Research software engineers, and we've had research software engineers in UCL for ages, and they've really helped establish it and build relationships with research community. Infrastructure developers, data stewards, data scientists, and PRISMs, the professional research investment and strategy managers. We are all in one of these things. The department was about 40 people in 2022. It's now about 120. It's growing rapidly, and it's funded mostly by being involved in research with our researchers and getting research income. So it's still a professional services department. We still run lots of services, some of which are on the right there. But we're also a research institute in our own rights. We can lead research. We work very closely with a very collaborative attitude to how we work with the other research departments in the universities. A lot of it's about fostering these relationships, building these long-term relationships, sort of becoming much more sort of ingrained into the research practice. We've been building a team of research data stewards, which is why I'm here. It's now, the infrastructure is now a team of its own. So when I started taking over the services role, there were systems developers and more sort of people-focused roles kind of in that team. But it was only small. There's only 4 of us. We've now grown to 18. Research income I've mentioned, we're written into bids. It's very important overheads are included because that's how we keep the department working and growing, and it is still growing. We've had senior allies, as I mentioned, which have got us past the whole kind of HR, well, that's not how we do things approach in universities, that I'm sure many of you will be familiar with, to really push this through. And we have a broad range of essential and desirable skills and experiences, various people have mentioned today. We have both a disciplinary and generic coverage, so we'll get involved with any discipline and pretty much any element of data stewardship. Our stewards are there to provide help preparing, documenting, managing, sharing data, making it fairer. I generally summarize the job to our new starters when they start is that our goals are reproducibility and data reuse. So we try and have that and have a relatively focused kind of sense of aim. We basically run services as well. So we don't just work with researchers, we also run the services. The idea is that there's a symbiotic relationship between the two. So the work we do with our researchers feeds into how we improve our services. Our services, we can tell the researchers about them. The idea is that both benefit. We're also involved in teaching and training. We're involved in the Step Up project, which I think Michael Bepak will be talking about in a little bit. And we are researchers in our own right. So a lot of our time is taken up writing research bids and getting involved in research bids and all those kind of slightly frustrating aspects of research. We've also talked a little bit already about who the research data stewards are and their backgrounds, and they are quite diverse. So we have only actually the one proper, I would say, SysDev left in our team of 18, but we've got a data librarian, people with backgrounds in university administration. We've got some people who've joined us straight from Masters and PhD, including information security. We have a data governance role alongside all the other things we do. We've got people who've been technicians in medical imaging, clinical trials, data managers for academic publishing, various people who, like Anharad, have come from departments and specific fields of research and so forth. And I'm kind of at the end there because I'm sort of jack of all trades and master of none. One of the other things that we've had to do is, whilst we have this fairly large centrally employed group, we can't cover all aspects of data stewardship. It's too broad. We don't have the disciplinary expertise that we need to get involved in an advanced level in every discipline. So we needed to unite the community. We know there are lots of people at UCL who are doing data stewardy kinds of things. As we know, they don't necessarily think of themselves as data stewards. So we went on a bit of a mission around the university to say, if you do this kind of thing and these kind of things roll around that wheel, we will consider you to be a data steward. And if you want to join our club, simply come to one of our events, have a look, say where you kind of fit in, and we'll try and form this community which we can use to ask questions of each other, inform each other, give examples of best practice, be able to reach into departments which we don't have access to otherwise, get really involved with some of the institutes who are working on large-scale data management and so forth, and it's been reasonably successful. I'm not going to dwell on the life cycle because everybody has a life cycle and they're all equally good. When I first started at UCL, I had a life cycle that looked a lot like this, but it wasn't actually until doing a bit of work with one of the Research Data Alliance groups with the Maldorf data model that I realized we were missing a key thing, which was actually data preparation and processing, which is so much at the heart of what a lot of our data stewardship work involves. So I've sneakily added that to the life cycle. I'm sure no one will notice. Long-term aims. Datasets can be published with rich metadata enabling fair machine actionability, not just readability, but actionability. Metadata records that are automatically populated and updated by each ARC services at each point of intervention on the data lifecycle. Now, as a service provider, we have services that fit at various points in that circle, and we know when a data, well, we don't actually know very well yet, but we will know when a data set has been processed by one service and then moves on to another service and then gradually moves around to publication. We can build that kind of audit trail of at least of the things that we've been doing. And that involves provenance metadata, so we can, trace things back, build confidence, build that sort of reproducibility chain that you need. Reflections so far. Disparate skills. So we're talking quite a bit today about the kind of skills required to be a data steward. The more I think about it, the more I work on it, I wonder if it's actually not the skills that brings together the data stewards, but a common purpose, common things that they're trying to achieve. You can have any number, any collection of those kind of skills on that circle I presented earlier. Two people can have two completely different sets of skills, but they're both data stewards because they both have same kind of aims and objectives to what they're trying to achieve in their work. Importance of collaboration. If we don't work with researchers and researchers who don't know already how to do it all, we won't be able to hone the kind of skills, the interventions that we need to make. Balance between services and research. I think I'm getting the angry cat. It's a bit hard to see in the thing. Right, it's my penultimate slide. Balancing is great, but we need money to survive. We get money from research. The more successful we are at getting research money, and we're being very successful, the fewer people I have to actually man these services. So I need to kind of balance that out a bit. We are not the only data stewards. So in UCL, we have a central IT team called Data Stewards who manage the data that UCL generates internally, the enterprise data. They also talk about FAIR. Sometimes we have conversations and sometimes we get very confused. Because we're using the same terms to refer to different things. So be wary when you talk about data stewards. Fair digital objects, I haven't got time to go into now. Final slide. Many countries now forming nationwide communities of practice. We've heard from Ireland, Austria, the Netherlands, Canada. There's probably more since I last checked. Here's our opportunity to form this UK nationwide community of practice. It's great, it's needed, it's an exciting time to be here. Lots of research data alliance groups, if you're not aware of them already, working on a global basis to define research data stewardship as a profession. We've already heard a little bit about different flavors of research data stewards. We certainly include our library colleagues as research data stewards, even though they don't call themselves that. And now we've got CaSDaR, and I think it's great. And have more events like this, and we can pool all our ideas and experience and move things on from here.